Debbie Lively here with Lively View. Thank you guys so much for coming back and watching my videos. Okay, you guys, let's just get right in. I strongly believe that the divine has prepared Black people for times such as these that we're going through in terms of what we're fighting against in terms of police brutality and just a lot of the things that we see happening against Black people during this time. We have educated youth, we have mayors and Black mayors in major U.S. cities, and we also have Black defense attorneys defending some of our people out in the streets. So let's talk about it during this video, okay? Stay with me. Okay, thank you guys for coming back. Debbie Lively again with Lively View. Let's just talk about it. So as I stated before, lots of things happening in the streets, and I feel like I'm constantly saying that when I'm coming here, you know, but we have a lot of moving parts with Black people fighting for civil rights and just fighting against police brutality that we see taking place against some of our men, right? But you know, I really feel like that this is a time, not even a time, God has already put people in place. That's the most impressive thing that I see. You know, as we see, you know, event after event, you know, African-American man or woman being killed and being harassed in the street and in just so many different ways. But what has really impressed me is just how God has already put people already in place. You know, when the protests first started happening, one of the things that I remember saying to my daughter, who's, you know, of course, a young adult, is just how impressed, you know, I have been and are with the Black people, the young Black people that I see on the street. You know, there are in this country 5 million African Americans with bachelor's degrees, right? And we're seeing that play out, right? We're seeing that play out because I've seen reporters on many occasions like put a microphone in front of a young person's African American's face, and they completely articulate the issues. Completely articulate the issues. They articulate it emotionally and they articulate it accurately. So I've been really, really just impressed by, you know, our young people. And what it makes me really feel like and think, you know, we've been like educating our people, telling our young people they need to get an education, right? And they pay a tremendous amount of money for their education. You know, and a lot of our young people actually have a lot of debt as a result of pursuing higher education. But we really see it playing out, you know, how the education that we've been preparing our young people and telling them that they should have, we see how they're now using it. We see how they're now using it, right? I've seen so many young people just, you know, just impressive out there, just really communicating to the world in terms of what they feel, what they believe, what they see happening in their communities. It's just been impressive. But it goes back to what I was saying before. God has already prepared this time. And we see it. You know, we see it. We told our young people to get educated, and now they are prepared and ready and articulating and telling the world what the issues really are. So I'm just really, really impressed by that. The other thing that I see in terms of how God has already laid the foundation for this thing, right, what's happening with Black people, is the mayors, right? We have, and even though the number of mayors is still really low, but we have so many female Black mayors in large metropolitan cities, right? In Chicago, in Atlanta, in Tacoma, of course in DC, you know, we see these Black women who are just on the forefront, you know, doing what they're doing, saying what they're saying, taking the actions that they're taking. I mean, we saw the DC mayor, you know, paint Black Lives Matter across the street leading up to the White House. I mean, if that ain't bad, that ain't bad. I mean, that sister took steps, right? Trump is always talking about, let me show you guys how far I can pee. She said, let me show you how far I can pee, right? Just impressive. But there again, this is a time when God has already put these women and these leaders in place for times such as these. It's just impressive. It's impressive to see, right? And then something else I saw, and I have these moments where things are happening and the divine is speaking, he's saying different things. And sometimes I don't always know how it's all going to come together, or, what it's all going to look like in terms of the end result. But then Rashard Brooks, the most recent brother that we know who was killed by the police, right? I was watching this press conference with his attorneys, three brothers, completely impressive, completely articulating the issues in terms of how this young man was gunned down, right? Shot in the back. But it was something about there being three black men defending him, and the way that they explained it, the narrative that they gave in terms of how this went down and how it could have been handled differently, and how they would pursue prosecuting or defending, prosecuting the case. It was just really impressive. But the second part of that, what was so impressive to me, is that I was just looking at them, and they were all different shapes and sizes. There was one who was tall, and there was one who was medium, and then there was another shorter guy who was actually leading it. But what was so impressive is that what I was sitting there thinking, what the divine was saying was, this is how black men would show up in our society when left alone, right? This is what they would look like. This is what they would do. I mean, just think about these three black men who would be prosecuting this case. As black men, they could just completely empathize with what this young man went through. And at the same time, what they're showing the world, and the world will be looking and is looking, they're showing the world, this is what black men can do if you just get off their necks, right? If you give them a chance and let them show you who they really are. And they're doing it anyway. They're not asking for permission, these people, these men. But I just thought the positioning of that, it speaks on two levels, right? Them defending black men defending black men, and then black men showing you who it is that they can be, once you leave them alone, once you let them go ahead and be who it is they need to be. And they're not asking for help, but if you just get off of their neck, so to speak. So I just wanted to make this quick video and just show and talk about, how the divine has prepared us for times such as these, even though it's really horrific, what a lot of people are going through and seeing these cases time after time after time. But we're prepared, and that's what I want to encourage and inspire people to think and to know, that black people, even though it's tough, we're prepared. We're in the positions. Our young people are strong and articulate, and able to just really say and be vigilant in terms of what needs to be said, what needs to be communicated, to the world. And then we have these mayors here who are in power, who are able to take some, they don't have ultimate power, but they do have power. We didn't have mayors in place like this in the 60s. We didn't have that, but we do now, right? And then we have these African-American prosecutors, right, who are in place. So I just want to give everybody hope and inspiration to know that this is all divinely orchestrated, right? This is all divinely orchestrated. And we have the players in place. Black people are phenomenal people, and we're seeing that play out. And I just want to give people hope and say, look at our people, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing, right? So that's all I wanted to say. I'm just so inspired when I think about it, but I just wanted to, share my thoughts about what's happening, okay? So I like to end my talks by saying, Ashe, which means that everything that I've said be so. All right, and I actually forgot to invite the ancestors into the room, but they're here. Okay, so thank you so much. You guys, please like, share, and comment, and yeah, just subscribe. I'm really trying to, as I said before in my previous video, I'm really trying to grow my channel. So please subscribe and tell your friends, and please share this video with them. And for everybody, all the Black people out there, please be inspired and know that hope is here and the divine is here. The ancestors are here, and this thing is going down, and we're prepared for it. Okay, thank you. Debbie Lively again with Lively View. Bye.